number 6.
Yeah.
Number 6.
This morning, number 6.
Keep rocking.
And it says we're live.
Yeah, lies. I heard.
Relative term of live.
Okay, so
The heat on.
we need the heat and we need scuba gear, and also hard hats because the hail this morning was
Yeah.
spectacular.
Second morning in a row.
Heat, scuba gear, and hard hats.
We went from the 80s to the 40s. Supposedly a high in the 50s, maybe.
What the hell? Oh, baby, seriously. Okay, King Harvest Imperial Coffees. If you like coffee, talk to these guys. Let them know you heard about it from us.
Molly was a lifesaver this morning.
Right.
Yeah.
My cat didn't die because of Molly. So
tinyurl.com. Amona Leaves Tees for all your smart ass t-shirt needs. Let them know you heard about it from us.
Yeah, the weather came through here about 3 o'clock this morning.
While you're doing the weather girl imitation, I'm going to see what reason.
Okay.
yeah, I think it's on the road, so you think she's okay.
So came through here about 3 o'clock, parked over us for about an hour, and then went north. We've been getting some really weird, and I use that term advisedly.
With no Y in it. I'm just gonna pop it in here for a minute.
Yeah, weird winds.
Well, it was coming from the north, and then on my way to work, it was coming from the south. It's like, make up your mind.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? So
That was the low level wind. The high level wind, which is normally supposed to come west to east, decided to turn around this morning and go north.
yes. So I just wanted to pop on, gang, and say thank you for the support on Ko-fi, because that's what I use to keep these guys online
Thank
for the
you.
bill. So and plus it's really appreciated with all of the car and cat and poison adventures. So thank you. I appreciate it. We'll give you back in. So
My fucking joints feel like they're packed full of sand and Rice
And-
Krispies.
Yeah.
If anybody cares, we got 0.14 inches of rain this morning.
0.14.
How much hail did we get?
We don't have a way to measure that. We don't get it often enough to be set up for it.
I'll open the package. Let's see what
Oh, yeah.
Richard sent us.
That looks to me like the post office tried to open it for us.
The hell?
I'm not sure. It's a duck. It's a duck with a battery pull, which makes me nervous. Also, it's got a ring like on a grenade.
All right. We know you're going to try it. So
See the ring? Do you pull it and throw it? Is it a quack bang? Is it a quack bang?
My guess is you pull it, it sits there, hops up and down, but
3 of them are. It looks a lot like a firefly that was used in the first Gulf War. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Remember fireflies?
yeah.
Oh, it's not a quack bang. It's key ring.
pull the little plastic tab out and see what it does.
Oh, no.
Explodes. Okay, that's pulled. Maybe push down.
It's a quacker.
It's not a quack bang, but it'll work. Thank you, Richard.
Let's see if you can find one that sings Rubber Ducky.
The rubber ducky, you're the one.
Yes, Nancy, I will take care of that afterwards.
Oh, Brian, I just ASMR off. I just put up a post about American bribery you might be interested in.
Yeah, Brian, hopefully you're surviving the weather up there this morning.
Yes, there is American bribery
Oh, yeah. There always has been.
for legitimate purposes. And
Keyboard caps. No, just no.
I specify what the the proper way to bribe non-officials.
Yeah.
Do not bribe officials in the U.S. People get all sorts of bent out of shape about it.
Only if it's a failure bribing them.
Oh no! Even if it's a success, it's going to come out eventually, and
Yeah.
everybody gets all wrapped around the axle.
Yeah, speaking of wrapped around the axle,
On my Substack.
Yay, that's great news, RK. He's up and walking.
Woohoo! Between him and TC, we might actually get a two people that are ambulatory.
Yeah.
Quite lovely. Oh,
Yeah, that would be great. Another district judge has decided to step in and there's no polite way to say this, fuck with the administration.
oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, now saying that Zeldin cannot pull back the $20 billion in grants that Biden administration stuck in the Citibank as a placeholder.
Oh, you mean the one, their vacation money?
Yeah.
Judge won't have vacation money if they take it back, so
You know, folks, this is
ridiculous.
yeah,
Criminal?
ridiculous is a good word for it.
I'm going to go a little outside of the polarity on this. Folks are either outraged at the judges or think they're doing God's work. My thing is some of the judges' decisions coming down are kind of backed by law. Once a case is filed, sometimes you have to do something.
Yep.
However, not all of them, and not the majority of them. This is judicial activism at its worst.
And France is now doing it. They
No,
got
France is-
rid of
France is
Marie
our-
Le Pen.
Arresting and threw her in prison.
They got rid of Marie Le Pen, who was Macron's primary opponent.
And right wing.
Yeah, and right wing. So
My
now the
mother's lord.
Nationalist Party in France is effectively leaderless for the upcoming election.
That could be interesting because I hate to tell folks this, Marie Le Pen was fairly
Calm.
calm compared to some of their flag
Oh, yes.
wavers. So somebody will step up. You can throw her in prison, which they've done. Somebody will fill the vacancy.
Yep.
This is not always a good thing.
Yep.
She was willing to work within the system.
Yeah, Kermit, you're right. Judicial sedition.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, and they've done it forever. They judge shop to find judges that are going to do what they want them to do.
Well, that one guy is really good at getting himself on the cases.
Yeah, that's kind of amazing how that randomly occurs.
Judge Boasberg,
Boasberg, yeah.
or whatever the hell his name is.
He
Um,
looks like a villain.
he does. He looks like a Bond villain,
Yeah.
a mid-tier Bond villain.
They all do.
The thing is he keeps popping up, and
Yeah.
there's a crap ton of judges out there.
Yep.
And these are supposed to be assigned randomly.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be assigned randomly.
Well, maybe they.
Well,
signed
we
the
saw
same-
that here.
Yeah, no kidding. Don't get me started.
The one good thing about this is if it does get to the Supreme Court, we can get judicial review, and if we don't have lily livered judges up there, this shit will stop eventually.
Well, Roberts is waffling now.
Robert,
Again.
Judge,
Not Waffle. I mean, the
Chief-
man should live at Waffle House.
the Chief Justice Roberts is a waffle.
Yeah, I mean, he just needs a great waffle stamp on his forehead.
You know, that's an insult to Waffle House.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether he's in Krasnovi or Pineland.
Yeah.
He is too, and I don't ascribe with Judge Roberts. I don't ascribe. Lost a word.
Coward.
Lost a word. I honestly think that he's waffling because he's trying to protect the Supreme Court's reputation.
Yeah.
So he's waffling. This is not the way you protect the Supreme Court's reputation. It really isn't.
Nope. We need somebody like Warren as Chief Justice right now.
Andrew Jackson.
Now he'd just take them out and shoot them.
And
And?
what's wrong with that?
Beat him with sticks.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's Sir Brass says he's ruining SCOTUS's reputation. It's amazing how often going overboard to protect the reputation of an institution or a person winds up ruining it worse or
Yeah.
quicker.
Thomas would, yes, he would protect the reputation. There are so many things going on.
What's that today?
What dropped today?
Oh, that's right. You haven't been online. A Band of Monsters, Weird Warfare.
Oh,
It went early today. today for once Amazon didn't hate us.
Holy
So
Amazon.
Monsters of that. It's like a 2-volume LP the way Chris put it together.
Weird Warfare dropped today. Band of Monsters, number 2 in the series, correct?
And it's also number 50 for us.
Yeah. And our 50th anthology.
Okay.
50 anthologies, guys. Weird Warfare, Band of Monsters. Chris Denote did stellar work on this one. He really did.
And you should read the introduction because it's written like a radio.
Of course, it's Chris. Of course it is.
So cool.
Of course it is. It's
And of
Chris.
course, I put up a book promo yesterday. Thank you.
That's okay. We'll do it later. It's gonna be out for a while, so
Well, you want to announce the upcoming book?
We are Saturday. We will open pre-orders for Dave Freer's children's book, boys book, his boys adventure book. We're opening pre-orders on Saturday, guys.
Storm Dragon.
It's called Storm Dragon, and everybody who's read it so far, all of our editors that read it so far, just squeal. So
It's Dave Freer. It can't be bad.
It
It's-
reads like a brand new Highline Juvenile. It really does.
that's
Yeah.
It's like visiting Highline all over again.
Yep. And again, all of our editors that are familiar with Highline said it's a Highland juvenile.
Yeah.
It's really good as far as I know. I've been kind of busy. And we would like to pay Dave. So if you could arrange to buy it and have all your friends buy it and the stock boy at the local thriftway buy it.
Well, he's also getting a much higher percentage than he would from any traditional publisher.
Yes.
So
we'd still like to give Dave some money. So and we can't do that unless y'all buy it. So spread the word, please.
it's amazing.
Yes, Kermit, you are correct. 8 USC 1324, alien smuggling and facilitation, and conspiracy for alien smuggling. That brings up another one. The quote unquote Maryland father that was inadvertently sent to El Salvador.
I mean,
The MS-13 gang member.
Yes,
the one
Okay.
who was like doing trafficking.
yes,
That father.
yes.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Okay.
The one that the leftist judges put a no extradition on.
Where would they get their maids?
And the interesting part is that the mainstream media is ignoring all of the MS-13 connections
Oh God, yes.
Of course they are.
and the fact that this guy is and has been an illegal alien for over 10 years, kicked out, snuck back in because he's married with children to an American.
Then he should have applied for a green card.
Duh.
Being married citizen fast tracks you for a green card.
Yep.
If you're doing it legally.
Here's my question. Can't we invoke the RICO Act on the mainstream media or something like that?
That is a good question.
There's a lot of people I'd like to invoke the RICO Act on.
Yeah.
But the mainstream media, who are, if nothing else, definitely enemies of the United States.
Propaganda arm of the Democratic Party.
Yeah. Well, ABC's got a
Are you sure it's not the propaganda arm of the ACP?
could be.
That the MS-13 that Jim brought up brings up a really good point. I put up a 3-part series on the various types of beatdowns. I probably shouldn't have, but I figure what the hell. It was
It's good.
blog fodder. The last one, part 3, was regarding power beatdowns.
Yep.
Which is a beatdown. It's violence for addressed to the citizens outside of a group.
It's a reason you carry every day, folks.
And when I said that America is not familiar with power beatdowns other than loan sharks at the local level. MS-13 was who I was thinking of when I said that power beatdowns were coming here. If you're worried about MS-13 being allowed to stay here, you are, I hate to say it, you are promoting power beatdowns.
Well, MS-13 and TDA both.
Yeah. The MS-13 is famous for it.
Yeah.
They will come into an area. Once they've got a power base, they will select a citizen and either beat him stupid, or beat him stupid, kill him in a grisly fashion, or female, beat her stupid, rape her. And it's basically terrorism to make sure everybody stays in line. And
Yep.
they grab a random person so that they can say, hey, we just did this brutality to a random person. Imagine what we'll do to somebody who crosses us.
Saw that in Arlington, Virginia, when I lived up there in the late 90s, early 2000s. 2
Yeah.
blocks from where I was living in the apartment complex. MS-13 took over a
Mhm.
park behind the Safeway. That became their stomping ground in less than 3 months.
Mhm. And that's what's coming. If the thickwits that have been allowing unfettered, uncontrolled immigration, that's what they're bringing in. And I made a list. I made a list of people that are generally involved in power beatdowns. And not only is it MS-13, but religious police.
Yep.
And we're bringing religious police here.
Look at Iran.
There are, and I have to say unconfirmed because I have not confirmed, reports coming out of Minnesota of Muslim religious police beating random people down for violating
Sharia law.
Sharia law. And this is a power beatdown. It is
Mostly aimed against the women, by the way.
violence against somebody for the purposes of maintaining. And it's a power beatdown. We're bringing it here.
Well, we
Carry
know-
your guns.
we used to have power beatdowns here in this country. When you'd have some little small town somewhere and the one family controlled everything, and if you stepped out of line,
And quite honestly, that is penny ante. It's penny ante bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, as I put in my post, it eventually gets the attention of the state or federal police, and things go to crap.
Yeah, Kermit, it's been here for decades. You're right. It's just the question that it went from who was doing it to
Yeah.
now
But
we
it-
know who's doing it.
But it's always been within enclaves and kept to a local level. MS-13 is not going to keep it at a local level.
Yeah.
The the cartels on the border are not going to keep it to a local level. And the local level, the higher up the food chain a power beatdown gets, the more vicious it gets.
Yeah.
If you start with a loan shark, and yes, getting a beating from a loan shark is not a disciplinary beatdown, it's a power beatdown. They'll break something. And it's pay up. Everybody else that owes us money needs to pay up, or you get a broken bone too. But it's a broken bone. MS-13 sets people on fire with tires. Okay, guys?
Or they will take their heads off with a machete,
After the beatings.
which is what happened in Arlington. Which, by the way, even though it was done publicly in a park in daylight, they never caught anybody.
No.
Northern Virginia politics.
And I'm going to say this with all the love and care that I can dig out of my black little heart. If you wind up selected for a power beatdown by MS-13 or a drug gang or something along those lines, I want you to understand something. Your options suck. But once you make contact, or once the armed idiots make contact with you, that's the only time you have any options. If you go with them, you have no options. Yeah, it sucks. Sorry. Never, ever, ever in the history of mankind has going somewhere with armed assailants had a net positive outcome for the victim.
Nope.
You are going from the scene of the kidnapping to the scene of the murder, or the scene of the unlawful restraint to the scene of the torture. All right, guys? So if MS-13 is grabbing you, you might as well go down a hail of bullets, because you're going to die screaming otherwise. Sorry, guys.
Yep.
My rant for the day.
That's also very, very true. As anybody who's been in the third world can recognize,
Grew up in the third world.
or
Sorry, guys.
anybody who has been in certain parts of the United States in the last 10 years. To go back to what Kevin was saying earlier, the beatdowns in America in the 40s and 50s pretty much got ended by a little town in Tennessee.
Hmm.
When the power broker didn't like, the sheriff in particular didn't like who was running against him, they tried to pull a we're going to take control and everybody's going to lose, except the opponent happened to be a veteran, combat veteran, who had friends. And said friends went home and got things they weren't necessarily supposed to have and came back and took over the town, took over the jail, took over the sheriff's department, and outed the entire hierarchy in the city.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was in the 40s.
Yep.
With a different legal landscape and a different, I'm sorry to say, a different outlook held by the public, general public.
Yep.
Where the government should take care of that,
Yeah.
which is the current bullshit outlook by the average American, is that if there's issues, the government should take care of it.
Bullshit.
This wasn't the case in the 40s.
No. Local things stayed local. So, enough of that bullshit. On to brighter things. Our weather went from 80s yesterday to 50s today. That was, by the way, after a hailstorm at 6 o'clock yesterday morning.
I'm in a long sleeve shirt.
I'm in a friggin'
He's in a
sweatshirt,
sweatshirt.
and I'm still hurting.
Yeah, no kidding.
This weekend, we're supposed to be down in the mid to low 40s.
Come home, Texas, you're drunk.
Woo! We needed the rain, but damn.
Yeah. Wally, it is lighter than what we were talking about. Oklahoma City is going to get mid to low 30s. Oh, joy. I got an email from a friend of mine up in Canada. They were on their third day of an ice storm, which
Oh.
thankfully had turned into a slush storm.
Somebody told me Larry Grizz got snow on Yard Moose
Yeah.
Mountain.
Yes, foot of snow.
Yeah.
Foots?
Foot of snow.
Yeah.
Feet of snow on Yard Moose
Snow.
Mountain. Woo!
Yeah, sorry about that, Greg. You like most of us are ex-military, so you pack, and regardless of what you pack, it's going to be wrong.
There's nothing like the military for teaching you how to dress in layers. Getting off of a plane, leaving one country in t-shirt, button-up shirt, sweatshirt, jacket, and because I didn't know how much I'd have to take off when I got to the next country.
Try taking off from Alaska or from Hawaii, supposedly going to Fiji, and getting diverted to Adak, Alaska in February.
You were in the military. You should have known that was a possibility.
Not fair.
You were in the military. You should have known that was a possibility.
We opened the door, closed the door.
That's just not, no, that's not okay.
And said, send foul weather gear. And the airplane collapsed its struts overnight
Oh, man.
because the 70-degree weather change, and they hadn't been pumped up to go to Alaska. So that was an interesting evolution.
I had a real fondness for safari shirts that with the epaulets and a button. Banana Republic. Kids, ask your parents.
Yeah.
Banana Republic was a fantastic and had these lovely shirts. They were linen cotton blend, I think. And you could roll the sleeves up and then button them with a little. And they were great for travelers because you could put a t-shirt under it and wear long sleeves. And then you got somewhere where it was bloody baking and there were pounds of sand going in your ears, and you could roll the sleeves up and be relatively cool.
Well, they also sew pants you could unzip
Yes.
and turn from long pants into shorts once. Then when you tried to put the long pants back on, the zipper never worked.
Zipper never worked, but yes, Liz, you had a Banana Republic, but it was not the Banana Republic of the 80s and 90s, or 80s, trust me.
No.
The Banana Republic of the 80s was a great, I swear to God, I think various intelligence services kept that place in
Yeah.
business.
Yeah,
The clothes for travelers was great.
none of it was made in China,
No,
so
no,
it had real thread in it.
it was high quality, and it didn't have serial numbers attached to it anywhere.
Yeah, the zippers were ungodly uncomfortable. You're right.
OG Banana Republic, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the stuff was milsurp.
Oh yeah, a lot of it was Mozart, and I said they made high quality clothes. They made them well.
Yep.
And granted, you pay through sinuses, but I had a safari shirt that I bought in the '80s that went to 4 continents, and it finally gave up the ghost in 2003 or 4.
Yeah.
And that's 30 years.
And Brian's saying he's got one of his last photographer's vests that they made. Yeah. The Shoot Me First vest. Yes.
Also known as the CAG vest,
Yeah.
the Delta vest. There's a famous shot. It's not Mike Vining, by the way, of a junior high teacher with a XM 177E as part of General Schwarzkopf's security detail, and he's wearing a Banana Republic Shoot Me vest.
Yeah. I remember those assholes.
Oh,
Just because somebody took a shit in Schwarzkopf's personal shitter, we were banned from the building.
Schwarzkopf was not. Never mind. Not going there.
I'm going there.
Not going there.
So even though we were in tents, GPs across the street, we had to go 2 blocks to go to the bathroom. Unless it was the middle of the night, and then we went outside because we didn't care.
I went through a souk one time wearing a Banana Republic photographer vest. And when I got out, it was 50 pounds heavier than when I showed up.
Yeah.
But I had everything.
Oh, yes, Richard. Moss did make a video about it.
But no, I did. And you could put, holy crap, you could put everything in those
Yeah.
things.
Yep, they were an adaptation of a hunter's vest,
Mhm.
English hunting vest, with the birding pocket in the back.
Yep.
That was how you could tell they were true Banana Republics.
I did. And pockets everywhere, inside, outside, pockets. It
Yeah.
was great. It's like cargo
magnets for the
plants.
pickpockets too. Yeah,
Yeah, it did, but especially inside ones. As long as you had some basic situational awareness, all of the pockets zipped.
Yeah.
So, and the zippers were loud.
YYKs.
So, no, you could secure quite a bit of stuff. To give a point to the folks that are in the know, I walked through souk one time with my passport zipped into a pocket and still had it when I got it on the far side of the souk. That should tell
That's
you
unusual.
something.
Yeah,
Pretty impressive.
I don't even know. Where's Tukela?
What?
Nancy's comment.
Mm, Oh. that sounds Finnish.
Place to get jackets and vests that will carry everything. Now, women's clothing is always a hard fit, hard sell, hard to find.
I'll say it again. I've said it before. I'll say it again. If y'all would raise pitch enough of a fit, they'll change your clothes. Blaming us for your clothes, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care what you're wearing. Does it look good on the bedroom floor? Yes, it's great.
Yep. Finish. Okay.
There's a dress Rita's looking at. It's made by a Texas company, and it's expensive, but it's got pockets.
Yeah.
And it looks like a Guyabera shirt, but in dress length, and it has pockets.
Yeah.
And she is so thrilled. I found it banging around. I was looking for Guyabera shirts, and I found it and said, "Oh my God, they offer a dress. Baby, what do you think?" I said, "No, that's nice. It's got pockets." And she went from, "Oh, that's nice," to "It's got pockets."
Yeah.
Women do that. That's because women are not used to having pockets.
I guess not.
Well, then, because they were not allowed, because it changed the lines of the dress.
No,
Oh,
it's just a money saving thing.
Money saving thing.
money saving. Okay,
They
that
weren't allowed. They didn't put it on some dresses because of the fit, but it takes time and effort to add pockets to some things. So
then why in the hell is women's stuff so much more expensive than the similar in men's?
welcome to the world of fashion.
The world of fashion.
We
Okay.
expect it to be rational. Like expect women to be rational sometimes,
No,
right?
I actually, speaking of external pockets, I actually have a fanny pack, a gun fanny pack on the way because I've got to find some way of carrying this damn gun.
I've got mine with the Million Woman March on it.
Smart.
Yeah.
I had to find one that didn't look tactical. Do you know how hard it is to find a gun
Yeah.
certified fanny pack that doesn't look tactical?
Yeah.
I love the Vertex, but it looks like there's a gun in it.
what we need to do is get a golf bag.
I'm not with the Secret Service. Thank you very much.
Get a golf bag. Pull out the 303.
Yeah.
That's a long shot. Better pull out the Barrett.
Yeah. Yeah, Rick. Because women will pay for it. Women have curves in many sizes, so the clothes are more complex. That.
We're not standard in our shapes. So
Yeah.
And
like
we
men
are.
are.
But weirdly enough, there's like 4 main male body types. So
Dad bod.
which is really sad because you guys deserve better clothing than what you get in
Yeah.
terms of suits. I mean, you deserve things that are flashier and more interesting. I mean, I'm really sad frock coats ever left because there isn't a man alive that doesn't look fabulous in a frock coat.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your shape is.
But I still want to shoot the son of a bitch that invented ties.
Hey, they're better than stocks,
Yeah.
and
Son-
certainly better than the elaborate things that they wore in the Regency era, where you had to have 14 loops. And
Cravats.
Agency wasn't as bad as 1780s. So
Yeah.
1780s were much worse.
Well, what was the whole lace collar thing? I remember.
the
Starts
roughs.
in Elizabethan and keeps going.
Yeah, thank you. Elizabethan.
Starts in Elizabethan and keeps going. It's a big rough. Yeah.
The pizza,
Yeah.
the Expandaflex pizza.
Well, you know what? You know what that was. You couldn't eat them dang things, so you had to be able to afford a servant to feed you if you wore those things.
Yeah.
If you were wearing those things, you had surf. End of story.
Cod pieces. Yeah.
Ah, yes.
People dreaming.
Medieval fanny pack. So
Well, cod pieces were nothing but the old-fashioned version of the people that.
Push up bra.
Well,
Yeah.
no,
It's a
the
male
people
push up
that-
bra.
the people that tape a cucumber to their thigh.
It's a male cod piece is a male
no,
push
they
up
did
bra.
that to their calves. They stuffed their tights to make their calves look shapely. So
Oh.
No, I'm talking about
I know you're talking about cod pieces, but they didn't stuff the cod pieces. They stuffed the calves.
Yeah.
Because that was considered more interesting.
well, and I'm saying that there was a while here not too long ago when men going to clubs were taping cucumbers to their thighs to make them look.
Ba-na-na-na. Liz, I want you to be very careful of the taser
Yes.
because you are not the fastest critter on the planet. And if you get a taser with deployable darts, it's only good for about 15 seconds. And then the critter is going to get up annoyed. And if you aren't 15 seconds away at high speed, then what?
I thought it was 5 seconds max.
On the civilian, X-26C civilian,
That's right.
it's either 15 or 30 seconds, I forget which. But
it's not nearly as powerful.
so you pop them, you drop it, and it'll run for either 15 or 30 seconds, and you need to get away. You ain't that quick. Pepper spray them, and
Yeah.
and carry a walking stick. And once they're tased and pepper sprayed, you don't have to be very fast to.
one of the things I love about classic savate, the French art of kickboxing, is they actually have a codified manual of arms for defending yourself with a chair.
Yeah.
Which adapts quite nicely to walkers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a codified training regimen for defending yourself with a chair.
I'm
Which I
sorry,
thought was-
Bam.
which I thought was damn civilized.
She's apparently lost the internet, and now her cell coverage is coming in and out. You can always rewatch it later. Walking sticks, yes.
Walking sticks are nice.
Yeah, a metal walking stick can do serious damage, Liz, but you need to learn how to use it. Do that ahead of time. Not
The thing is to not get in the circumstance in the first
Yeah.
place.
Situational awareness and staying the hell out of those situations works. As John Farnham, God rest him, he's not dead yet, just God rest him. John Farnham was fond of saying,
Yeah.
Don't go stupid places with stupid people and do stupid things, and 99% of your troubles will go away.
Is that other 1% that we're all worried about, though?
yes, cold steel does make a good walking stick.
They do.
I prefer the ones that I got from England that are kind of hard to grab and hang on to.
Right. The Blackthorns.
Blackthorns. Yeah.
The thing, Cane Masters is not bad. The thing about Cane Masters is the ones I've attended, I've apparently been their training evolutions have been developed by able-bodied people. A lot of those fancy twirls and cuts, if you don't have a solid base, don't land right.
Yeah.
Michael Janich has a cane defense that's very simple and designed for people that don't have stability. So Michael Janich, Janich. It's a very short course. He sells it online. It's a good base of, because if you got a cane, odds are you're not stable because you have to have a cane.
Yeah.
So winding up for a baseball bat strike when you have no base of stability.
You're getting a bunt. Resources available for situational awareness. If you can take Mass IUB's 40-hour
Oh, Mag 40.
Mag 40, yeah.
There's
Whether you shoot or not.
he's got a Mag 20 course.
Yeah.
Which is is everything except the shooting. I personally like the shooting, but you may not. Masad Ayub Group, MAG, 20 or 40.
Yeah.
Craig Douglas has a managing unknown contacts, which is worth its weight in gold. Buy the book on Amazon called Left of Bang and read that twice. Left of Bang is a fantastic way
Yes.
to not only tell you why you need situational awareness, but how to develop it.
Hey, James.
I'm just a
Hopefully the job search is going well.
font of tactical information today.
Makaido, yes, I did, and I chose not to use it because I don't trust their translation program,
Hmm.
and I don't trust them to not.
I got a text from Wayne
Yeah.
that was his screenshot of, we are offering the AI audiobook AI beta. Would you like to try it?
Yeah.
And his capital's fuck no.
Yeah. Yeah, Tiffany, that's good news. Yes, definitely. I would definitely recommend anybody that wants to learn about situational awareness, buy the book Left of Bang.
As I put on one of my Substack posts, which apparently vaulted me into number 6 in philosophy, which I don't mind being number 6, but philosophy?
It's a philosophy.
Hey, John,
it's
how
a-
did you come through last
a
night?
philosophy
Okay, I
of
hope.
some kind. 99% of the armed Americans' needs are handled by Gunsight 250, which will teach you how to fight.
Yeah.
And Mag 40, which will teach you how to survive what the state's going to do to you after the fight.
But better to be carried or tried by 12 than carried by 6.
Yep.
Well, you say that. I'm here to tell you 2 years out of my life and at $20,000 in legal fees was not fun.
It's still better than being carried by 6.
Yeah.
Especially since most of the people you know are too broke to carry you.
Right.
Yeah. We might have rolled you along with
Yeah, no kidding.
get 3 or 4 walkers and put them around and kind of, yeah.
4 guys grabbing my ankles and driving my dead body to a hole. Thud.
We can have a party while we're doing it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Jesse, the playing with a couple of AI readers, they aren't bad, but can't hold a candle to even a bad human reader.
No.
That's the key point right there.
Well, I don't know if y'all have noticed it, but there's somebody, some critter, took the humans fuck yeah section of Reddit,
Yeah.
ran it through an AI reader,
Yeah.
and he's got it up on Facebook, or not Facebook, on YouTube, and is making money, pissing people off.
Yeah.
The original content creators aren't getting any money. This guy steals them off of Reddit,
Yeah.
runs through an AI reader, and posts it up on YouTube and monetizes it.
And
Yeah.
the AI reader is really, really
The
bad.
AI reader is terrible.
It reminds me of the early text to speech.
Right.
Not that good.
It's not even that good.
When they mispronounce the same name 6 different ways.
Kevin says situational awareness is not tripping over the affectionate cat while trying to get morning coffee.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
Situational awareness, folks. Once you develop situational awareness, the world goes better. You notice more things.
Oh, John, I was not aware of that.
The wolfhounds, yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing about the situational awareness is if your gut is telling you this is not a good place to be,
Yeah.
believe it.
The Tao of Law Dog. Always in cash, never in writing. Know the exits. Trust your gut.
Yeah. And the only one I would add to that's never hit them above the shoulders. That goes back to shore patrol training.
Mhm.
Always hit them at the knees first, then the hips, then the elbows. Never above the shoulders.
Well, that's only if you are worried about whether or not they survive the encounter.
Oh no, I'm wanting to surround the counter because punching somebody in the head, in the skull, the hardest bone, the hardest and most curved bone in the body with the delicate phalanges,
Yeah.
means your part of the fight degrades with its swiftness.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking, I don't want to hit. I want to hit them above the head, but I don't want to use my hands.
Nah.
Yeah.
I don't want to hit anybody anywhere using my hands.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, Sarah.
I have
That's
tender.
why you have elbows.
Also,
Yes,
a shovel hook to the liver.
I have tender, delicate skin, and I don't want any damage done to it.
Yes, but you have to load up a weapon, and a lot of times you don't have that option when the fight first starts.
Sir Brass, that is how to be shore patrol. Because shore patrol was a good deal. Because you had to check out all the off limits places,
Oh, darn.
which were usually better than the places you were allowed to go.
Some of them. I will not say that I was ever in any off limits bars.
Oh,
Well,
Kelly McCann taught me the 4-count body shot or liver shot.
Yeah.
And that has been one of my go-tos for ending a fight.
Yeah. Yes, Rick, you are correct. You do have to step in and strike through. That's like anything else. You got to hit through whatever you're aiming at if you really want to do damage.
Well, that is optimum. Yes.
Yeah.
Fights are never optimal.
No.
optimum in a fight is not being
Yeah.
there.
Optimally, you're at home, drinking a
Yeah.
beer in your own home.
And that's not where the fight breaks out.
No.
If it's where the fight breaks out, you got problems.
And I will remind everybody of something that multiple mentors of mine have driven home in one way or another. When you get involved in social dynamics, it's not over till you're home safe on beer number 2.
Yeah.
Then second beer after you're home is when you relax. So many people get zapped
Yeah.
walking away from whatever issue, thinking they're safe and relaxed, and surprise. We need to get off the tactical stuff.
Yeah.
Seriously. This is
I'll
not
just say this. The way I was taught was if I ever pulled a gun, I better use it.
well,
Period.
And what I was taught is if you shoot somebody, as long as they're still moving, you keep pulling the trigger.
Shoot, stop the threat.
I don't offer legal advice on the internet, so we're moving on to something a little more cheerful.
Yep.
Um,
Writing. How do you write that?
whew,
How do you, and this is a question I often ask myself with some of the situations in the writing. How do you get those ideas across without going into pages and pages of descriptions or going so graphic that nobody wants to read it?
well, there's a secondary problem there. Is how do you write it to meet genre expectations?
Well, depends on what genre you're in too.
Right. Right. It's okay. Outside of writing it, police procedurals. If you wrote a case the way it actually happens,
Oh God, nobody'd read it.
3/4 of the book would be the cops brewing
Nothing.
coffee and on patrol.
Yeah.
But you can't write that because nobody'd read it. Same thing with fights, fight scenes, violent scenes.
Yeah.
You have to meet there are certain things that have to pop in there that may not be logical or what actually happens, but
Yeah.
what are expected. So
And if your fight, hand-to-hand fight, lasts more than about 2 minutes, it's
If that.
wrong.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
At the academy, we did a 30-second beat down to get out of the, or 30-second fight for life to get out of the, to graduate. And what we had to do, and I understand they had to stop doing this, but in 93, you got two guys about the same size, two cadets about the same size, and it's forehead to forehead, gloves, and you hit each other in the ribs for stopwatch 30 seconds without giving up.
Yeah.
And that's, if you couldn't do it, you didn't graduate.
In the Navy, going through AOCS, we fought multiple 3-minute rounds in a boxing arena. Now, granted, we were using heavier gloves and we had the head protection,
Mhm.
but everybody went through that. And if you didn't go through it, you didn't,
No.
you left.
If you couldn't fight for 30 seconds,
Yeah.
they wouldn't, the academy wouldn't put you on the street because you had to, and it was just you pounding each
Yeah.
other in the ribs. And I had to work so hard not to get my opponent a liver because my instinct was go
Yeah.
for the liver. And, but I was bruised from armpit to hips the next day.
Yeah.
But forehead to forehead, and you didn't run away. You had to fight for 30 seconds, and they
Yeah.
had a stopwatch. Go, and then you pounded the crap out of each other because if you couldn't fight, you were a liability.
I do remember we had one guy in our AOCS class that big guy, and he liked to beat up on people. And we had this little bitty quote quote assistant to the trainer who was a retired Marine, former Pacific Fleet champion. And this little guy was smaller than either one of us. He might have gone 5'6", 5'7", and might have weighed 135, 140 pounds.
Little guys will kill you.
And after the trainer saw what was going on, he put this little guy in with the big guy and took the gloves down from, I think we were using 20-ounce gloves down to like 8-ounce gloves and said, okay, fight. And the little guy knocked him out.
That'll happen.
Out cold.
Well, Kelly McCann isn't real big, but I wouldn't fight that old man for all the tea in China.
Well, we find out after the fact that the little guy that's the assistant ensign, Stash Ensign, is a former Golden Gloves champion in the flyweight class. And I'm going to tell you, folks, he was hitting that big guy so fast,
Mhm.
you didn't even see the punches.
No,
If
featherweights.
anybody remembers Sugar Ray Leonard fighting, that's what it looked like against a heavyweight. Just pat, 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 all over but the grind.
I always found that if I was going to get in a fight in a bar or something like that, and I could choose my opponent, I look for the biggest guy in the bar.
Yeah.
Not because I thought I was really bad or anything, but because I found the big guys usually have not been in enough fights to really know what they're doing.
Yeah. That's true too.
Now,
Light, dark, sky. Yeah.
if the big guy does know what he's doing, you had done screwed up
Yeah.
at that point.
But to get back to the writing of it, yes, there are people who write scene after scene after scene. Louis L'Amour was notorious for that because he was a former boxer.
He'd been a bare knuckle boxer.
Yeah. So he knew exactly what he was writing.
And
Huge hands.
and for those of us in the know, he wrote a boxing match, not a street fight.
Yeah.
A lot of the fights he wrote would not have happened in the street.
No.
Street fights are quick, fast, and vicious.
Yeah. And that's the key point. I got yelled at in my second book for one of the fight scenes in that because it was maybe a paragraph long.
That's all it takes for a real one.
Yeah. Because and it goes back to how much detail do you put in?
How much detail does genre expect?
Yeah, because the reality is, if you've been in a fight, you don't remember half of what happened.
Oh God, no.
Yep.
And what you do remember is probably wrong.
Yeah, and if you go back, I can't remember the guy that did it. I think Tom Givens at one point had done it with some of his people. How many shots were actually fired?
Oh God. Yeah, how many investigations I've done, officer-involved shootings, that every one I've done, they got the number of shots fired wrong.
Oh yeah, and they were usually low, way low.
Hell, half the time, if they reloaded, they don't remember reloading.
Yeah, you get auditory and memory exclusions.
Sometimes it starts and you look down, the guy's laying on the floor and you're not quite sure how he got there.
Yeah.
Or why you got this real painful place on your hips.
I have that problem when I see really old first edition science fiction books. I have no idea how it ended up in that shopping bag. It's just there. So,
Bam, that's an excellent point. She says, that's my attitude about women in physically demanding occupations, combat, special forces, firemen, cops, etc. Yes.
My primary, and I'm going to be a little bit contrarian because I'm me. My primary opponent and my primary opposition to women in special forces, not the little darlings can't do it. Special forces is primarily a teaching job. Yeah, they get to do the fun stuff, but the primary purpose is to teach. It's to teach indigenous forces how to fight. Women are great teachers.
Yeah.
However, in 80% of the world, the indigenous forces will not learn from a woman.
Yep.
So you've taken up one or two slots in an undermanned 12-man team with people the locals won't listen to.
Yeah.
When their job is to talk to the locals.
Well, one of my objections to women in any of these fields is, yes, there are women out there who can do it better than most men.
Yeah.
But the majority of women who get through the system are gotten through the system by, well, we'll have to lower the standards or lower the standards for her or
not anymore.
fudge things.
Yeah, that's changed.
Not anymore.
Kermit makes a good point too. Fired 3 shots to slide lock, expended 2 magazines.
Yep.
Don't remember a damn bit about it.
Women are excellent clandestine ops. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
However,
Women are damn good snipers.
Yes.
Women are hellacious shooters.
Yeah.
One,
Yeah, I can vouch for that
oh, yeah,
fact.
I can too. The women I've taught to shoot have all been fantastic because they don't come with a pre-installed, I have a Y chromosome, therefore I already know how to shoot, which is annoying as hell.
I remember putting certain young females down on my sniper rifle at Lagarado,
Mhm.
and
Because
damn near
they
every
listen.
one of them outshot my ass.
Because they'll listen.
Yeah.
Plus, a smaller, faster heartbeat evens out the bouncing of the reticle crosshair.
Well, if you get your goddamn thumb off the top of the stock, yes. Idiots. For those of you that do not shoot long range, Most people grip a rifle with the thumb over the top of the stock
Most people do, unless they've been trained. Most people,
Yeah.
don't.
because that's how they control the stock. As a sniper, you do not do that. You get that thumb off the friggin' rifle. And really, the only thing that's touching the rifle with any pressure is your trigger finger.
Well, and the three pulling into your shoulder.
Now, you
three-
really do that with your left hand.
Yeah.
If you're doing it correctly. Because at 1,000 yards, you can lay your thumb on top of the stock and watch the scope bounce
Mhm.
with your heartbeat.
The you know what got me? There are two things that got me in the habit of laying my trigger hand thumb along the side of the weapon. One was shotguns. If you shoot a shotgun and your thumb's over the top, this knuckle right here will bloody this part of your nose. And two, freaking MP5s. The Heckler & Koch MP5 was designed for people with gorilla fingers.
Yeah.
If you hold it like an AR-15 or M16, your thumb will not reach selector switch. However, if you hold it with your thumb on the right side like this, you can work that selector.
Yeah. Yeah, John, that's going to truly suck. But sorry, Julie. Julie's down at a conference in McAllen on public safety.
Oh, yay. What about 22? Kermit, offhand, I'd say John doesn't need to be shooting anything less for recoil, although that is a factor, but for the fact of holding the weight
Yeah.
on a joint that's compromised.
Yeah, he may have said a 22 was fine, but I would wait at least a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me.
It's the leverage of the weight of a rifle on a compromised joint.
I have a compromised joint on the right side, so I know what I'm talking about.
Doesn't everybody?
Yeah.
Compromised joints on all sides.
Well, the recoil is part of it too. But that's not all of it. There are multiple issues there.
Kermit, Ian, I'm left-handed. What's your recommendation for me with an MP5? It's a out-of-generation weapon. Get something more modern.
Well, wait a minute. My favorite pistol is not a generation. It's got to be an outer generation weapon because it's the oldest damned automatic that's still in common use. 1911.
Also, there are aftermarket selectors for the MP5 that are ambidextrous. Get
Yeah.
one of those and do the same thing.
But just because it's out of generation doesn't mean it's not a perfectly good weapon.
MP5 is heavy. Does the trick. It really does. It's a good weapon, but it's also 11 pounds.
But the felt recoil is negligible.
Yeah,
so
it is. And it's
It's very controllable.
It's hella accurate. But the HK slap pisses me off. There are better weapons. Honestly, God, this is the 2020s. Get a better. That's the 1980s. It's the 2020s. Get a better weapon.
Yeah. And some of us are old fogies and we don't care. Besides which, I'm not into spending money on the latest and greatest toys.
Now, if I want to get the best weapon for the situation, I
It's
have
the
to
one
call.
you have.
It's an MP5, guys. Trust me, he's not buying it. Somebody with the government budget supplying it to him.
RK, shoot from whichever side you are comfortable with.
That's one of the issues I'm having. Is I'm left eye dominant. But
Yeah.
My left eye is the bad eye. He drove Jim nuts because I shoot pistol right hand. But the first time I met him, we were
Yeah.
shooting, and I shoot left rifle and a shotgun left-handed because I was at the time left eye dominant.
Yeah, I put him down on my sniper rifle. And I realize he's left side and he's reaching over the top of it. I'm going, what the hell are you doing?
I learned really quick with a bolt action that I can keep my hand on the firing mechanism and work it with my left, but it drives him nuts.
Yes, shoot what you're comfortable with and what you practice with.
Academic question. You got an academic answer.
And for that matter, if the pistol that you're most comfortable with is if you will shoot a 22, it's better than a 50.
Yeah.
If you will shoot the 22 and you won't shoot the 50, the 22 is a much better
Yeah.
gun than the 50.
How many 50s have we seen in various gun stores used, quote unquote, with a box with 46 or 47 rounds still in it.
A 22 in the ocular cavity is a lot better than a 50 missing by
Yeah.
6
The-
feet because of the flinch.
The Mossad or a Shin Bet or whatever you want to call them, their favorite weapon is a 22.
Well, it's traditionally been the weapon of assassins.
Yeah. The U.S. military at one point had suppressed 22s.
The T512, also known as the Ruger Mark I,
Ruger Mark 1 made by Armor,
modified by Armor or something or other.
which if you can find one of those is damn near the perfect pistol. It's quiet. And I do mean quiet. The only thing you hear is snick, snick. If you can hear that.
Oh, hey, guess what? Our tactical talk has taken up an hour of your time.
Jesus Christ. Sorry about that, folks.
I apologize.
Well, I didn't help matters along by going back to how do you write something like that.
The Dave Freer starts open Saturday. Please.
That's
We
such a good book.
need better cheese for my editors.
Actually, it's getting better.
We need better cheese. Don't tell them it's getting better, then they'll slack off on the paying.
Well, RK,
Go watch Mike on Earthquake. Holy
Yeah.
crap,
Yeah.
that was
Oh
The,
yeah,
uh,
earthquake.
the Army and the Air Force love those 38 snub noses. Nobody knows why.
weird.
The Navy and the Marine Corps kept issuing people 45s for reasons.
Never waste a big gun. Yeah, the opinion's different.
Dave's book will be up for pre-order on Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Sometime Saturday, it'll be up.
I'm sleeping in, but I push the button around noon or so.
Noon local Saturday. Pop over to Bug Scuffle Gazette if you want to read about how to bribe people in America.
Yes.
Not recommended ish. And I guess we'll see everybody on Tuesday.
Remember, don't sweat petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. And have a safe weekend, folks. And if you're looking at the weather and wondering what to do, stay inside and read
Reading is good.
and listen to your weather alerts.
Ryan Hall, great guy. Knows
Yes.
what's going on.
Thanks, folks. We will see. I'll duck you.